Hello. I'm back to talk about Luke 9:13. And Luke 9:13 says, "You give them something to eat," he told them. "We have no more than 5 loaves and 2 fish," they said, "unless we go and buy food for all these people." So this is Jesus talking to the disciples, and they had just gotten done going 2 by 2 with Jesus' power, driving out demons and curing diseases. So this is relatively close to right after that. And their first response was, "But we only have," and it just surprised me when I think about that would be their first response after they just did these huge miracles with the power of God. And so but then I thought, how many times do we, as followers of Jesus, walk with him and see him working in and through us? And then when we're faced with a new challenge, we say, "But I only have these abilities and resources," as if it was all about that. So often, we want to put our faith on cruise control and say, "Okay, God, I believe in you and I trust you, and now I've got it." And instead of going to him daily, asking for direction and for Jesus to work in and through us and on what he asks us to do or allows to happen in our lives. I know in my own life, I jumped on the cruise control bandwagon. And I think for me, the time that really shook me up, because there was no cruise control, was COVID. It really forced me to go to God for daily direction. There was no norm for every day, and that was scary. And I had to go back to the basics of seeking God for new decisions. And it took me right out of that cruise control because there was no setting that was even done before. This was all new. This was scary. This was intense, and not just COVID itself, but what it did to the whole world. But it was in my own life, it was a good thing of, hey, you have been relying way too much on your own resources, your own daily routines, and shift back into what I have called you to do and relying on who I am, as in who God is, and what his power can do in and through me. And even more recently, I've been learning to take the focus off of me, to focus more on God, who he is, and what he can do through my obedience to him, especially when I could not see how things could be done or how issues could be resolved. I mean, think about in our own lives when we are praying, "God, fix this situation," or "How am I supposed to do this?" And we've got that perspective of like, okay, maybe I could see how that could, like, if it goes this way, then I could see God, that's how God could work that out. But so many times he goes a whole different direction than we thought, and we're kind of left in awe. But if we aren't paying attention, we can be left confused. So I think in my own life also, when like working at the high school, I think even now as I prepare to go back to the high school, I think of situations that could arise, and with new students coming in, and I don't know all the students now, and it's intimidating because what if this new situation arises and I don't know what to do, and I get all focused on me, like what will I do, instead of being like, it's not about me. God has called me to this place, and I'm excited to be in this place because he is going to be the one doing amazing things in and through my obedience, because he's going to be giving me his power as long as I'm seeking to be obedient to him. So I need to constantly be pulling myself back and saying, okay, it has nothing to do with my abilities or my resources. It's him who's calling me and his power, and focusing on all the amazing things that God is and what he does, and and the relationship I have with him. So, remembering that, we can continue to be listening for the Holy Spirit and turning our focus on God, who he is, and his power within us. Thank you.